right, let's get into what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going through the book, Stealing from God, Why Atheists Need God to Make Their Case, and we'll review a little bit what we did in previous sessions. This is a big problem with young people. They go off to college, and before you know it, they're saying, Dad, hey, I don't believe in God anymore. And there are many arguments that they think they get when they go off to college that somehow point to atheism. But let's look at this problem another way. Here's how we're going to look at it. Question: what if your best arguments to doubt God show that He really exists? What if your best arguments to doubt God show that He really exists? That's kind of the premise of the book. In fact, these are many of the arguments that atheists bring up to say God doesn't exist. Well, we're the reasonable ones, and reason is atheistic. We're all about science, and science points away from God. Evolution shows there is no God. There's too much evil in the world, and God is evil, and the God of the Old Testament's evil. And look, atheists are more moral, and I consider atheism to be more moral than any other religious viewpoint, said Christopher Hitchens. Now, are these arguments for atheism? No, they actually are stolen from God Himself. These arguments actually point back to God. None of these things would exist unless God existed. And what do I mean by that? The book, as you know, goes through crimes. That's the acronym. All of these things over here, causality, reason, information, morality, evil, and science, they're all immaterial things. And as you know, the dominant view among atheists today is what? Everything's material. There are no immaterial realities. We're just molecules in motion. We're nothing but moist robots. Well, if that's the case, how do any of these things exist? Because every one of these things have an immaterial aspect to them that can't be explained by materialism. We put it this way: atheists are materialists, yet all these aspects of reality are immaterial and grounded in God. Therefore, when atheists cite any of them to support atheism, they are stealing from God in order to argue against Him. Now, some people have a problem with this word grounded. What do you think this word grounded means?
The foundation.
It's the foundation? Or God is the source? Yeah, it's the basis. You can't get under Him. He is the foundation, like a foundation of a house, you know. You can't get under the foundation of the house, otherwise you're in dirt. I mean, as part of the house, that's the bottom of the house. Well, the bottom of all these things is God's nature. And that's why none of these things actually point to atheism. They point right back to at least theism. And you have to do more work to see if it's Christian theism. Now, we started out in Corinth, Greece, and Paul was talking to the church at Corinth. In his second letter to the church at Corinth, he says this, particularly in the context of false teachers. He says what we need to do is destroy their arguments and every proud thing that sets itself or that raises itself against the knowledge of God. So we're not only supposed to have an offensive defense of the Christian faith, in other words, give reasons why Christianity is true, we're supposed to give reasons why other worldviews are false. And so when they come at us with these arguments, we're supposed to debunk them. We're supposed to refute them. That's what this is talking about here. Now, last time we went through causality, or a couple times ago we went through the issue of causality, reason. Today we're going to talk about information. Information and intentionality. Now, if you can't keep up with this, everything I'm going to say is in the book. And one day we're going to come out with notes to this anyway. But let me ask you a question. If you had to define what information is, what would you say it was? What is information? What is it? Here's a definition right out of the dictionary. The communication of knowledge or intelligence. Or you could say the communication or reception of knowledge or intelligence. So I'm communicating information to you right now. You're receiving information. It's not random. It has structure to it. It has meaning behind it. And in fact, here's a piece of information as to how we got here. Genesis 2:7, the Lord God formed the man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. Now, evolutionists laugh at this. Are you kidding me? This is how we got here? Yes, this is how we got here. That God literally created us out of the dust. Doesn't say we evolved.